If you've been doing a lot of the law of attraction type work, the visualizing, journaling, affirmations for love, relationships, a partner, and nothing seems to be happening, that this video is for you. I am going to share a few things. I've had this conversation more than a handful of times, and what I'm about to present has really helped people. And not just give them a different way of thinking about things, but I've actually seen it result in getting into relationships. Now, I'm not pitching a technique. There's nothing for sale here. I'm not saying do these tricks and you will quote unquote manifest your soulmate. We're going to sort of deconstruct some of that and make it hopefully a little more practical, accessible, and something you can start seeing maybe small but actual measurable results with. So one of the first issues is the overall framework that often gets implied or people interpret a certain way when they start doing this type of work to attract someone. Really attract anything, but especially with relationships, right? The framework is, okay, I need to do all this work on my own, alone essentially, do all the right visualizations, everything to get my vibration higher. Eventually, I do enough of that work on my own. I'm supposed to reach this state where my high vibe mirrors this other perfect person for me, and we match. So essentially, I do the homework, and when I finally do it well enough or complete enough, let go of enough limiting beliefs and so on, I am now rewarded with this partner. I do not like that framework. I don't endorse it. I don't believe it's a reflection of reality. I believe what actually happens in reality all the time, because you probably have a friend or 5 who've never done any of this LOA stuff and you've seen this happen to them, where wherever you are in your life, unhealed wounds and all, limiting beliefs and all, love is not judgmental or discriminate like that. It does not say, well, you've entered into this inner workspace, so now you don't get love until you've achieved X, Y, and Z in terms of your own spiritual or emotional growth. It's nonsense. You can be exactly where you are, and there is another human being who will love you right where you are. Do you need the other person to be perfect and have healed everything and be the perfect vibration? Or do you want someone you feel safe with, you feel good with, you have a nice time together, and maybe even you can actually grow together, do work together, whether it's explicitly specified or not? So really observe and question if you are finding yourself in this relationship as a reward paradigm. Do the homework, get the relationship. Another aspect of this that often happens is this sense that I need to kind of visualize this end result of me with the perfect partner. And I need to kind of get that image in my mind and hone it in, and I'm picturing the perfect guy, the perfect woman, the perfect person, and I've got all the details, and I'm thinking of the house and the kids or the no kids or the mansion or whatever, right? There's nothing wrong with doing that, but I think a really important thing to understand is that for many, many, many people, that is so far from what they are actually feeling safe and comfortable with on a body and nervous system level that it turns into fantasy. Fantasy being the mind just sort of projects it as an image, like we're doing paint on the computer program, right? Just this, here's this nice image of me with a partner. Maybe I get some good emotions, but it is not grounded in the actual reality of this is me in my body, talking to this person in Starbucks and all of the steps between dating and getting to know each other and marriage. It's just sort of this image of this hypothetical perfect partner, perfect life that has no grounding in the body. So it's too disconnected from anything that your nervous system can actually begin to get comfortable with. So a quick way to check this is if the idea, the visualization even, for example, but the idea of, okay, I'm at Starbucks, I talk to this person, and here we are about to go on this first date. That can be intense for a lot of people. That can be triggering, especially if you have trauma in something around a past relationship. If you haven't worked through any of that, the idea of actually going on that date is going to bring up a lot of energy, a lot of resistance in the system. That can absolutely be worked through. That's something I do as a facilitator with EFT and other techniques. I have videos, Brad Yates has lots of videos. There's all sorts of different techniques to help process through that stuff. But the essence of what I'm saying is, if your nervous system is not comfortable with the smaller steps, like we actually go out to coffee, this person comes up to me and asks me for coffee, and then I have to, decide what to wear and go out and meet them, and then have maybe some uncomfortable conversations. What are you looking for? That's real life, right? So if you're just visualizing this sort of hypothetical end result with none of the steps, I know you will hear, like, just focus on the end. But if you've been doing that for years and nothing is happening, I'm here to tell you this is why. It's because it's too much of a leap. Your nervous system is protecting you from various points along the way that it's not actually comfortable with yet. So it's not going to do much to visualize you in the house with the kids when the date brings up a lot of emotions. So what you can do is visualize, focus, whatever, use the same tools to say, for example, what would it feel like for me to meet someone, have a nice interaction with them that feels nice and comfortable, and there's sort of a smooth transition into us meeting somewhere? And have it be real, like a real place you would go, not the magical end result. And you will notice that it's not quite the same as fantasy. You're going to feel stuff actually coming up. Like if I'm in my neighborhood coffee shop and I see this person, there might even be a specific person, by the way. You picture that person, you actually speaking to them, you want to be checking that it's actually bringing up not just quote-unquote good emotions, but that it's triggering whatever your actual response to that would be. Now you're working with something real. That's real in the sense of visualizing it and connecting to it and actually sort of forming those neural pathways, because it's something that's rooted in what your mind and body can actually grasp and has memory of. And it can be used to help process through some of the anxiety that comes up around that. You tap through that, you get that comfortable, then you can visualize the next step and work through what comes up there, and so on. Now, instead of just, trying to visualize the perfect partner and saying affirmations about the relationship you're in, which has no real grounding to you, it's not actually doing much of anything, unfortunately. And if you've been doing it for years and nothing's happening, I think it's fair to say that it's not really doing much of anything. All you have to do is make these adjustments so that you're actually doing something, right? So to recap that, it's not just focusing on the hypothetical end result, but what's a very realistic, practical step that would happen in my reality in a realistic way. So it's going up to that person or that person coming up to me, and there's a nice, friendly conversation. Maybe that is very triggering for you. I've worked with plenty of people where that would be triggering. So if it is, give yourself some love. Okay, got some anxiety there. It's totally natural. I'm a human being. There may be some deeper stuff under there to work through. Again, totally natural. You're a human being. But don't expect your nervous system to be on board with you picturing marriage when the conversation is triggering. So take it in these steps, observe your feelings, have compassion for yourself, work through little steps at a time, see what you can actually visualize in a real way that triggers some actual emotional response in the nervous system. Don't just fantasize about an end result that doesn't feel like it's connected and integrated in any way to your own body. So you got any questions about that? I'm happy to answer. I hope that sets you down a different trajectory or gives you some ideas to play with. I will see you next time. Thanks so much.